Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements, and in this video we are going to be reviewing WandaVision, which literally just finished a few hours ago. And I just have to say, I absolutely loved this series. It was just so amazing, absolutely brilliant, so powerful, so MCU, and so innovative as well. It's the first proper MCU Disney Plus TV series, and if they're all at this caliber, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in the Loki TV series, in Miss Marvel, all of them. I hope WandaVision gets a bit of a second season, as this was so good. I know the sitcom aspect of this series got really criticised in the beginning, and I know the linear drops in terms of it being weekly episodes instead of all in one go also got really criticised as well, but I actually really like the sitcom side of it, and I really like the weekly drops, the cliffhangers, the fact that the whole world was talking about this series. Everything about it was absolutely brilliant, and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this video review. So from a storyline point of view, as this was the final episode on the WandaVision TV series, everything was coming to a climax, and obviously that means a massive battle. So at the end of the previous episode, on episode 8, we found out that Wanda is actually the fabled Scarlett Witch, and as such we had the long-awaited battle of Wanda/Scarlett Witch versus Agatha/Agatha Harkness, which was absolutely brilliant. I also love the fact that they had the other players in there as well. So we had Vision versus Vision. We also had Monica Rambeau/Spectrum joining the fight as well. We had the twins joining the fight. We had the military. We had Hayward. All of the players were there for this one massive epic battle. And I just have to say, as far as MCU battles go, this was truly epic. I love the fact that they were entering the supernatural witch aspect and seeing how Wanda/Scarlet Witch is going to go up against Agatha Harkness, who is a really experienced witch. So I thought all of that aspect was really, really interesting. It's a shame that there was no Mephisto reveal, no X-Men, and no multiverse. I mean, the post-credit scene could have been leaning into that a little bit, but it's a shame we never got all of those yet. I'm sure they're absolutely going to come soon. But as far as the WandaVision TV series goes, the story was really, really interesting. I love the fact that they closed the Quicksilver question mark as well, in terms of making him Ralph Boner, another resident as part of the Westview area. The mid-credit scene, if you haven't seen it, there's definitely a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene in the final episode. The mid-credit scene, I think, is clearly leading towards the Monica Rambeau character meeting Nick Fury, which is probably going to happen in Captain Marvel 2. And the post-credit scene shows that Wanda/Scarlet Witch is reading the Darkhold and is hearing her kids. Is this hearing her kids in her head? Is this hearing her kids in a different multiverse? So literally, cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. So I am going to do some predictions at the end of this video, so definitely stay tuned for that. So from a cast and characters point of view, all of the cast members of WandaVision played their roles, literally and figuratively, so well, and this show was just absolutely brilliant, as the casting and all of the characters and the character growth, the character development, character revelations were all absolutely brilliant. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we obviously have Elizabeth Olsen, who was just truly sensational in the role of Wanda and the role of the Scarlet Witch. She was just so brilliant in terms of carrying the show really, really well. And the different iterations of the character across the sitcom eras were really, really cool as well. The raw emotion that she conveyed when she had to relive all the tragedy across her past in the flashback episode of episode 8 was absolutely brilliant. And just how much of a badass she was in terms of defending her family in the final episode was absolutely brilliant. I love the fact also the emotional goodbye that she had to do to the twins and to this version of Vision was really, really moving as well. It was really interesting as well, as Marvel have acquired the rights to the Scarlet Witch name through the acquisition with Fox. This was such a brilliant way in terms of how they expanded the backstory of this character to really weave in all of the Scarlet Witch aspects, and how she ended up being the true version of the Scarlet Witch, which is absolutely brilliant. So I feel like Elizabeth Olsen's arc and the way in which she played all of the emotional aspects of this character was truly brilliant. Next up we have Paul Bettany, who was playing the Vision. He was absolutely brilliant in this role. I love how he was really confused along with the audience. It was kind of like the audience's eyes and ears as he was initially trying to work out what's happening in the Westview area, while still being a really loving husband and a father to the kids. And I really loved in the final episode how clearly the two Visions were totally matched in terms of skills and abilities, and the Vision used intellect in terms of this was the way in which he was beating the White Vision character instead of brute strength, which I thought was so true to the way in which this character has been throughout the time in the MCU. I also thought it was hilarious that Paul Bettany in the interviews, when he was saying that, you know, there's a big cameo appearance going to come and the character coming up and he cannot wait to work with this actor, was obviously talking about himself, so I thought that was pretty hilarious. Next up we have Kathryn Hahn, who was truly brilliant as well as the Agatha Harkness character, initially coming into the show as the Agnes nosy neighbour character. I mean, the reveal that she was actually the witch Agatha Harkness all along was so predictable, but actually it wasn't really Agnes all along, as the majority of the hex being created, it was actually Wanda. I mean, she was a true villain at the end of this episode in terms of being the really evil witch character, and I really like the fact that she went back to the Agnes character right at the end of this series, clearly going to come back in future installments. Next up we have Tiana Paris, who was also brilliant in this series as well. I love the fact that they had the older version origin storyline for this character in terms of her coming back from the blip/snap, and also the origin storyline of her superhero aspect, when she kept going back and forth through all of the radiation in the hex and then turning into the superhero spectrum. Talking of superheroes, she really was a hero, as she was just seeing the good in Wanda the whole time. It was really helping her to try to get back to her heroic self, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next with this character in the Captain Marvel 2 movie. Next up we have Kat Dennings and Randall Park, who are obviously playing Darcy and Jimmy Woo. I love the trio that they had with Monica Rambeau in the first half of this series. I thought they were a brilliant trio, and I loved how they were pulling from different aspects of the MCU to create a hilarious little trio act, and I cannot wait to see if these characters come back in the future as well. Next up we have Evan Peters, and that moment where this character's version of Quicksilver was introduced into the WandaVision show was so jaw-dropping. Literally the whole world was having different theories in terms of, is this a recasted version of the Aaron Taylor Johnson version of Quicksilver? Is this the character from the Fox universe? Is this Mephisto? Is this like a devil type character? So brilliant. I love the reveal. I thought it was absolutely hilarious that actually he was just a character called Ralph Boner from the Westview area, and that he's nothing to do with the multiverse at all. I hope we do get to see the Aaron Taylor Johnson version of this character coming back. I know that he signed a multi-contract deal, so hopefully that happens one day. And then finally we have Josh Stamberg playing Tyler Howard, and I loved all of the different theories about this character as well, in terms of, is he a good guy, is he a bad guy, is he trying to recreate Ultron, and all of the revelations about this character actually just being a sword agent. I thought it was a little bit spooky when he was trying to get Wanda to try to re-wake the Vision and was trying to manipulate all of the footage that he had from the CCTV footage to try to make Wanda look like a bit of a villain. So a bit of a twisted character, but from a cast and characters point of view overall, WandaVision was absolutely brilliant. So from a visuals point of view, I think WandaVision is really, really strong. I loved all of the different sitcom eras. I thought they captured all of those brilliantly. If you compare them to the actual shows they were based upon, you can just see that not only were they inspired by them, but they actually had great furniture to really replicate them, which was really, really cool. The MCU battles in this series was really, really cool. I wish that they did a little bit more with Wanda versus Vision, but you know, in terms of Wanda versus Agatha Harkness, Vision versus Vision, all of the Spectrum magic, the twins, all of the MCU aspects that you have come to love was truly in this series, and it was looking really, really cool. All of the hex magic was really, really great as well. The fact that this dome looked really, really cool and that humans can't really penetrate through it, apart from Monica Rambeau, who used this to have her origin as a Spectrum character. I thought all of the witch stuff in the final 2 episodes was looking really, really cool as well. So from an aesthetics point of view, the cinematography for this TV series is absolutely brilliant. Paul Bettany did say in one of the interviews as well that the budget for the visuals is really, really high, and you could really tell because everything was looking really, really cool and really like a cinematic theatrical film, except this was a Disney Plus TV series. So from a visuals point overall, absolutely brilliant in WandaVision. So in terms of comparisons, I thought as a TV series, WandaVision was really, really cool, really, really brilliant cliffhangers, really, really innovative in terms of what it was even trying to do, and just so gripping. And I love the continuous storytelling and how the plot was getting deeper and deeper. The talkability from a global point of view for this show was absolutely brilliant, and the final revelation was really great, and it really tied everything together. So it worked really, really well as its own entity. In terms of comparing it to DC TV seasons, I think it's so much better than everything that they've created, such as Batwoman, Supergirl, Flash, everything like that. It was so much better than that. And I think it's also a lot better than the Netflix Marvel TV shows such as Daredevil, The Punisher, Jessica Jones, The Defenders, etc. I think it's better than all of those. I do much prefer the ensemble Marvel TV shows such as The Runaways and The Gifted though. Those 2 seasons, you can see my reviews in the description box below. But that being said, WandaVision as its own entity is absolutely awesome, and I hope that it gets a 2nd season. So in typical MCU form, whilst they've closed the WandaVision TV series, obviously this is an interconnected world, and the storylines are going to continue, and obviously they had the brilliant mid-credit scene and the post-credit scene. So here are my predictions of what could happen next. So obviously in the comics, the twins are shards of Mephisto, and we can hear the kids screaming out to Wanda at the end of the TV series. So I wonder if actually Mephisto is trying to go after them, and this potentially could be how Scarlett Witch rips open the multiverse, which leads into Spider-Man 3. I also hope that we also get to see the X-Men through this series as well, as obviously we discover that there was something unique about Wanda from a very young age. Obviously that was that she was a witch, but from Pietro's point of view, there must be something genetically in his genes that allowed him to get the abilities that he did. So I wonder if that's going to begin the tease of the mutant X gene. And obviously we also have the White Vision character out there as well, and he's got the memory back of the classic Vision, so I wonder if he's going to come back. I wonder if they're going to try to make him evil again. Maybe that's where the Ultron theories can come back. Obviously it seemed as if Wanda was a hero still at the end of this season. I know in Multiverse of Madness she's going to be a little bit of a villain, so I wonder if this is going to lead into the Mephisto train, and then that's going to lead to this character being totally crazy, which obviously has the Doctor Strange character having to come in and try to fix everything. So from a predictions point of view, I literally cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. So overall, I'm sure you can tell I absolutely loved WandaVision. I thought it was such a great TV series. I loved watching all of the episodes every single week and then talking about it with everyone. I thought that was really, really cool. I thought it was really, really innovative. I love the sitcom aspect of it. I love the MCU aspect of it. And I think Elizabeth Olsen just drove this TV show so well. Her storyline was so gripping. Definitely one of the best characters in the MCU. I loved where the character was in the beginning to where she was at the end. The introduction of loads of other new characters, the returning characters. Everything was just so brilliant in this TV series, and like I said before, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next in the MCU and to do with the Scarlet Witch. But as far as WandaVision, the TV series goes, I have to give it a solid 7 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.